Hi everyone, it's Rensler with Conquer Gaming Lounge, and we are back with tutorial episode 6. And when we left off, I'm deciding to do some calisthenics now. When we left off, we built our awesome shop, which was fantastic. We built the awesome sink, which, killed our power grid, and we had to build Clyde over here to fix that nonsense. So we did a bunch of stuff, but we also unlocked foundations. Foundations are amazing, and we are going to go through that world right the heck now. All right, so let's build some containers. We're going to take some containers. We're going to build them over here off to the side. We're going to dismantle all that stuff, and then we're going to put down some floor, and then we're going to put it all back. That is what we are going to do if I can find the rods. I'll just take that. That's fine, and I believe rods are out there. Hey, there we go. Cool. Bam, like it. Alright, so we'll get rid of this guy here. This will give us some space. Give ourselves some pale berries, because why not? Okay. Going to create some cargo containers here. And line that up like that, line it up like that, and maybe one more. 4 should be good. Cool. So now this is just a series of me swipey, swipe, 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 swipe all the things, and just super fast mass delete. Yep. Power grid failure. Don't care. Don't care. Yep. Give me all the things. Sweet. And go here, store. Now, I understand, I've seen in forums where people are like, well, hey, is there a way I can mass dismantle things? And I would say, arguably, yes. And then, of course, people would say, well, no, I want to be able to dismantle, like, my entire factory. Like, the whole thing. Maybe there's a way eventually. I'm sure people will use file editors and such. To me, this is fast enough, and I get that this is a hilariously small base compared to what a lot of people have made. I get it. But, let's be real. Maybe this will work for a while, right? Also, if you want to, here's a trick. Pro tip, number whatever it is. Okay? If you want to quickly find out what is inside of a cargo container, enter dismantle mode and just highlight it. There you go. Everything in that bar right there that it's showing you, I'll give you a box for that. That's what's in there. And how much is in there. So if you want to quickly understand which one of my storage containers is empty and which is not, there you go. And this is not the contents. This is how much you'll get back if you dismantle it. But if you dismantle this, this is also how much of this you will get back. So there's that. So we store it all. And then that's full, so we store it all in the next one. Cool. All right. Now what we have is our blank start again, right? So we're going to get rid of some of these formations real quick, just to get them out of the way, because we're going to be putting down foundation for this. So we will hammer our way through this quickly. Okay. And thank you for being here and watching this series. If I help at least one person, this will have been worth it, right? It's also practice for me, just to get my production pipeline down right. That's really what it is. But I like making informative, educational content. That's what I'm super happy about. Is being able to do that for you. Also, let me know, please, in the comments, if the closed captioning that I've been doing has been useful / helpful to you. I want to include everyone, and everyone includes anyone that is either hard of hearing or would just rather read. Or maybe they can't fully understand me, but if you read it, you can. If that's you, I would love to hear about it in the comments, because it takes quite a bit of time to do all those, because I do those. I run it through a machine learning system. It writes everything, and it gets it about 85% of the way there, and then I do a bunch of tweaks and correcting some misspellings, like it has no idea how to spell Rensler. It'll show up as Renssaeler in the text, so I use PowerShell and I do a find and replace. I have a script for it and everything, and take care of that, right? But if it's useful to you, please let me know. It would be I would be happy to know that it legitimately helps someone and be like, no, I can understand it now because they gave me text to read. And there's no shame in reading the text, none at all. Nope, not at all. I find that when I've got Netflix on, even if it's on my like a side display, that I just leave subtitles on all the time. And I can't call it closed captioning. I have to call it subtitles because closed captioning actually helps describe what's going on, like music and such, and I don't do that. Okay, where's all the concrete though? Is that what I have? Wow. Okay. Well, we're gonna take this and that, and we're gonna take this and that, and all right. What we're gonna do, real quick, I will zoop this forward for you. I need to make the rest of this concrete because we need a lot of it. So we're gonna zoop this forward, and I'll just have an inventory of concrete. Okay, just like that. That's done. So now let's lay down our foundations. So something I have noticed is that when you're laying down foundations, it will try to adjust to the height of the thing that your cursor is pointed at. And as you notice, this is a flat area, but there's rocks here. So what I'm going to attempt, and we'll see if it works, is to build my foundations in a way that, let's see, we're going to do this, and I don't think we're going to need ramps, but we'll do that, where the rock is completely consumed by the, okay. The rock is consumed by my foundation, because the goal is I don't need stuff sticking up, right? And I want to minimize the amount of ramps that I'm using. And I've reviewed some of the episodes that I've done, and I realized that I may not be explaining things enough. So I don't remember. Fourth wall break, all of the next 7 episodes got corrupted. This is an episode I've recorded already. I recorded this episode a month ago. And the file's dead. And a lot of files are dead. I'm just giving it to you straight. That's why it's the 9th and there's no video out today. Because 3 days ago, when I did my review of the next few episodes to make sure that I'm on the right path and I'm not being an idiot, all the audio was trashed. And I would rather put out nothing at all and disappoint you by not putting out a new video than to give you something that's lower quality than what I would have wanted. So to me, it's the Shigeru Miyamoto way of thinking, which is a delayed game is eventually good, a rushed game is forever bad, and I'm going to get that as a tattoo on my arm. I already have a Konami code, so I'm going to get that quote next to it. And I would rather just give you nothing than something that's trash. So that's why we're re-recording this. So fourth wall break there. So we are going to zoop. So here's what I did. I pressed 1. That brings up my foundation. And I can place this foundation anywhere, right? It can snap. I believe I have it snapped to the world grid right now, which is a cool thing. Snapping to world grid is sweet. And you can't tell, but I'm actually rotating it right now, and you just see the grid lines. If you want to be a stickler about the grid lines, I am not. Then you can make it to where they all line up. Notice how that's changing right there? So I'm just moving my mouse around, right? And so we're going to, see how this does that, right? All right. So I'm in build mode, and it's called zooping. I'm going to press R. You see it's vertical. Press R. It's default. Default is just place a foundation, and you can place foundations anywhere. That's another thing. I'm gonna press G, which unsnaps it to the world grid, right? And now I can place this anywhere. And I can just do crazy things and place this anywhere and rotate it a little bit and put that. The game is not going to limit me on that, right? But there is also a mega, what I call a mega sweet thing where we could snap to grid guidelines here, and I guess it's not behaving the way it's supposed to, but that's okay. Anyway, we're going to press R, we're in build zoop mode, and we're just going to zoop forward. We're going to do, let's do 8. And then we'll run over here and see how far that is and see if I need more, and I do. I like trying to build bases on the true north, south, east, west of the map. And the compass at the top, I'll give you a box for that. As I showed you in the first episode, that's where you're going to find out where true north, south, east, west is. So we're just going to zoop that right there, and we'll take this, and we'll zoop that. Take that, zoop it, and we'll zoop this. And I'm coming to the realization that I don't have enough concrete for this. All right. Well, we're just going to start our thing over here then. And that's odd. It said it was a 2 meter, but the art is a 4. Okay, whatever. Fine game. I'll play by your rules. Sure. And so now I probably don't have enough materials for this. Yeah, I'm missing a miner. All right, so we put down our foundation. And that's as much concrete as we have right now because I didn't think ahead. And because episode 5 has already been published, I can't go back and fix it. So this is the no continues, no restarts playthrough / tutorial of Satisfactory. I could have done things better. Just being honest, I could have done things better, but we're just going to roll with it. You're going to find that you redo things a lot. And that's okay. And I think it's more difficult for someone, a player, you or myself, to be okay with that than the actual problem. It's about being okay with it. Okay, let's see if I'm so high that this won't snap. And I'm right. So I didn't know the maximum height before this just won't snap. Clearly we found it, because this miner should be snapping to these nodes. Okay, alright. So now we're learning, right? Now we learned that if you have a 2 meter foundation that's floating above a node, that is too high for the miner to snap to it. Okay, well, we're learning then. Isn't learning fun, everyone? Now, I did do this to a different rock, so that's what we're going to do. I need to dump my inventory, though, because I have to pick that box up. Because that box is almost exactly where I need to be. We're going to store everything. So, before I didn't use that rock. I didn't use that rock as a reference. Which is this one. I actually used this one. So what we do is if we take a 1 meter foundation and we plop it right. So notice that if you finesse the cursor a little bit, you can get this height adjustment, right? I have no reliable way of explaining how to do this. So I apologize for that, but I have no reliable way of explaining that. Besides, try to place the foundation where you really want it. Then find an object that you can move the mouse vertically on, which is difficult to explain, period. Then try to finesse the foundation to end up at the height you want. That's the best I can explain that. And so that's what we just did there. And we're going to be working with 1 meter foundations here. Nope. And notice that if you're standing in the way, it won't place anything. But right when you say, hey, place this, it works, right? So instead of extending way out, what we're gonna do is just try to get. We'll do that too. This, and we got to go that way a little bit, and we want to go that way a bit more, and make sure that we hit the back of the node. I just don't want it to look weird. And go like this, and maybe like that, and like, okay, cool. So now we should have enough materials for our miner. Cool. Does it snap? Yes. Yes, it does. Cool. It won't snap to this one? There's a node under here. It will snap. It's just being annoying. Okay. Wow, okay. So you'll snap if you want to be, if you just want to be kind of picky. Okay, so this is a unique placement. It's being incredibly picky right now. Like this one just immediately snapped. Like, right? It just snapped exactly to where I wanted it to go. So that's cool. Alright, so let's do this. And nope. Nope. Cool, like that. Alright, so what we'll do is I keep having to reselect my height, right? Press E twice to cycle through. You'll notice that the height changes, right? 1, 2, and 4. I'm just pressing E to do this. And if I have 2s and I have to keep pressing E twice to go back to 1, that just makes things take longer. It's less efficient, right? It's not about being lazy, it's efficiency. And some people confuse those things. For example, if I drop something and 3 days later, that's when I pick it up because I had something else to do, that's not lazy, that's efficient. And I will argue that point. And I'm sure there are people that'll fight me. I'm down for that. I'll fight. I've lost fights before. I don't care enough not to fight. I care, but not enough to not fight. I will totally fight. Alright, cool. So now we've got 3 miners back. And we have to go pick up the rest of our stuff. But that's the beginnings of our foundations, right? So let's go pick up this stuff. Nope, that's the wrong button there. Good job, Chief. That's the wrong button. Alright, and now, of course, we need to place our hub, but we don't have enough concrete for this, right? So what I will do is... I already went through all the limestone, did I? Let's find out. Yeah, I think I already... Yep, okay. So I hammered through the limestone. So let me do this. I'm going to go mine limestone by hand, and that's going to take some time. And I'm going to zoop you through that because we need to put down more foundations before we can rebuild our base. And because that's going to take quite a bit of foundations, that means quite a bit of limestone and concrete. You don't need to waste your time with that. I don't need to waste your time with it. So we're just going to zoop forward. So I'll be back in probably, with you, it's going to be about a second. With me, it's going to be about 3 hours. All right. So we'll be back. All right. We're back, and we've done some work, right? We've got some more foundations going on now. So just wanted to briefly explain what we did during that time. It is a pretty simple process, but I do want to explain it because this is a tutorial, and that is what you do. You do things, and you explain how and why and what and all of those. So we took one of our limestone nodes, we placed a miner. We put that into a splitter. That is going into 3 of these constructors. And what I'm doing is I'm just manually dumping limestone into the 3rd constructor. And yes, I do know that I can take this output and put it over there. Right, I get it. And we'll probably just do that real quick. There. And I've got these miners here that I was just manually dumping limestone into, right? Take it out of the miner, put it into this guy, put into that guy, put into this next guy just like this. Perfect. Alright, so we take that, we put it into a merger, and we dump it into this container right here. So that's the most basic concrete production line that you can have. Besides having just one constructor do this. But so we've got our constructor doing this. It's all going in here. Okay. Next is we need plates. So I had enough stash of plates for this. And we'll just get over here, get up on top of here. So I ended up with, enough materials to make foundations. Okay, cool. And we will just like that. Cool. So just that over and over again, right? Use my plates, get a bunch of concrete, build foundations, repeat, repeat, repeat. Just keep doing that. So I have these 2 containers here that I use. That's my storage spot, of course. So I'm just taking things in and out of those guys and building out this floor here, this factory floor. And this is a decent start. This is okay. And of course we've got some of the flooring that's too low, right? And we've got plants and such. And we'll get to clearing all of that. That's called obstacle clearing. It is a milestone, and we'll get there. Just not at this moment. Alright, cool. So now it's a nice big square for everyone that says, oh, well, I'm particular and it must be a square. Now it is. Now we're okay. So I'm just going to leave this over here for now. We may take this container and reposition it up here. Because I might... Okay, cool. So I can't access it from here, so that should be okay. It just needs to be conveniently accessible. And because I picked up those portable miners there, I have 2. I need more. We are going to... Oh, good. Okay, I had 2 more in here. That's good. Alright, cool. So we're going to take this. We're going to store that. No, we'll just take that. Let's see, what do I not need? Don't need that. Or those. I'll give that up for now, and that's 1. What is this? Weird. Okay. I was confused as to why the number didn't show up. I mean, it shows up even if you only have 1, but okay, whatever. Alright, game. Touche. Whatever, I'll play. I'm literally playing the game right now, so I'll play your games. Even the ones that don't make sense at all. I'll play them. Okay, and I must have dropped my... Yeah, I did. I dropped my concrete. I just don't like having a bunch of holes there. Okay, cool. Alright, so here's what we do. Now we need to rebuild our factory, and we've got a factory floor, which is amazing because now everything will automatically at least be oriented correctly. And that means north, south, east, west, right? So we're going to press 7. And there's a miner that we can place, but we're short on plates. Okay. And I believe we have iron ore, yes. And we have enough plates to make a craft bench. Okay. So we're going to zoop forward on this, and I'm just going to make these plates. Okay, so we've got like 90 plates or something. It should be enough. So we're just going to get this show on the road because this is already a pretty long episode. And I want to show some personal growth here, right? Show some real world. Now, where's the last node? I thought that was the last node. Which means there's a node over here in the corner. Oh, right! There's a node over here in the corner that I have to be able to see the node from underneath to be able to place it. And I cannot explain to you why that's the case. I don't know. But it's true. Alright, so let's make our equipment workshop here real quick, because I need to make a portable miner. So we'll just make this one. Okay, so this is a quirk of the game. I did not experience this until about 20 minutes ago when I tried it the first time, and I had the height of my foundations were wrong. So there, I had to fix them. Anyway, this is why this section is lower than the rest of that, by the way. So I could not get this miner to place unless I was standing right where I'm at right now, and I'm actually pointing my cursor at the node itself, and the game recognizes that there's a foundation right above the node. Notice that no part of the foundation is touching the node at all. I didn't know that you could float it up this high, but if the game says it works, then it works. I'm not going to argue with it. So we're going to place that. And now I have a guy there on that node. So I am happy that worked, and that I don't have to adjust the height again of my foundations, or have one awkward low spot. It's nice that I can get most everything roughly the same height. And most and roughly, it's kind of how we have to do things sometimes. This is going to be an iterative base. Let's just be honest. It's going to be totally iterative, and we're going to go through many, we can do better, and tearing it down and building it up. But like I said many times, and you're probably getting tired of this, but because there's no dismantle penalty, I could build something and dismantle it and always get the same amount of materials back to every time. It's just how the game works, period. Then that allows me to be iterative and say, I built it, I can do better, I built it, I can do better, and repeat until it's just amazing, and you're like, all right, this is legit, we're good enough here, right? So it's super nice that the game allows us to do that. But less talking, more doing, right? Less talking, more... It sounds like a slogan for Home Depot. Less talking, more doing. All right. So... obviously, conveyor belts are a big part of the game, but I have to be honest, I don't like them. I don't like conveyor belts. They're in my way and I constantly have to jump over them. And that's kind of annoying. So I also noticed that in reviewing footage, I didn't explain to you how belts work. I didn't explain it at all, actually, which is not cool. So let me give you a quick explainer on belts. You have probably figured out most of this already, but for anyone who hasn't, anyone that wants to hear somebody else say it and say, okay, they said it, so it must be true. Well, honestly, look at the forums and pay attention to what Coffee Stain Studio says. What they say is true, that is what's true. I'm just a moron that plays the game that makes YouTube videos, so take that with a grain of whatever you like, all right? So, we're going to press 3. And notice something. You can't just start a conveyor belt in the wild, in the ether. Okay, you see that it says the conveyor belt must snap to a conveyor pole or an input-output of a building. To me, that seems self-explanatory. You can't just randomly start building conveyor belts. Now, if I highlight the output of this miner, clearly you get a sound effect that says something happened, right? It's an audio indicator to the player. And you'll notice that there's a snap point where I can move around and move my cursor a bit. And within some kind of, invisible ring confines, it'll stay there. And that says, yep, you can build here. That's okay. So I click once. So now it's attached to that building, and now I can do all kinds of cool stuff. And there will be points where it says you're clipping through a building, or you can't build it because it's in the middle of something else, or it has an invalid shape because the curve is too tight. Something like that, or you're encroaching the clearance of a building. There is hard clearance and soft clearance, and there's combination clearance, and you'll want to listen to watch Jace's video on that because he has the perfect explainer for it because he knows how they designed it, as he should. So if you want to know exactly how hard and soft clearance works, either watch the Total Eclipse video, watch the I'm Kibitz video, or take it straight from Jace because he's one of the community managers, of course, but he has direct access to the dev team, so they can explain it to him exactly how it works. So that's the authority. That's who I went to learn how this works. So that's who I would send everyone. Like, go straight to the expert. So now, I want to put my belt here, but I don't want it to be this height. I don't want to constantly have to jump over my belts. And once we build our factory floor and our floors, plural, and our tower, our belts are simply not going to be on anywhere where we are running. there will be little in-between floors, and that's where all of our logistics will go. And that includes fluids and belts, right? Materials of all types will be on our in-between floors, so our factory floor can just be clean, and we can move around safely and properly and not have to constantly jump over things, because that is so incredibly annoying. So, I have it lined up here how I want, so I'm going to left-click one time, and you'll hear that sound effect. Okay? So now, what I have done is I've taken this pole, and it's now stuck to the floor, right where this is at. If I move here, and I move there, and I spin all the way around, notice the pole did not move at all. But if I go up, I have 4 height options, 2, 3, and 4, for my belt. And because this is a long enough run, the belt can actually be any one of these heights. Cool. I want it up here. And I just give it a second left click, and there you go. So it takes 3 clicks to build the belt, okay? First click, you target a input, an output, or a conveyor pole, or the end of a conveyor lift, and you click once, left click. Then you drag it wherever you want it to go. If it's not colliding with stuff, if it's not an invalid shape, if you do have the materials, and it's not too long, because there is a length limit for each segment, then it will let you build it. The hologram will turn whatever color it is, and I'm like I said, colorblind, I don't know. And you left click again, that will freeze the pole in place, and then you can adjust the height. And when you're done adjusting the height, you left click one more time, and you end up with something that looks like this. Now, fun facts about belts. Number 1, every belt has a maximum speed. If you want to know what that speed is, just pressing the hotkey to try to build it will not show you that. But if you press Q, go to logistics, and we highlight our belt. If you take a look at the info on the right side, and I'll give you a box, transports up to 60 resources per minute used to move resources between buildings, okay? 60 resources per minute, doesn't matter what it is, this belt will move 60 of them in a minute, okay? Also notice, belts do not require power. They don't. Belts do not require power. They have never required power, and I did play this the day it launched on the Epic Game Store. So I've been playing it for literal years, and belts have never required power. They might in the future. I don't know. I have not seen the internal roadmap, because I don't work for Coffee Stain, and if it's an internal roadmap, they better not show me, right? So that's that. But belts don't require power. Anybody that says that they do, okay, but they're incorrect, all right? So now that I've got that, what am I going to do with it, right? So this is going to be a walkway right here. So what I want to do is guarantee that my walkway is going to be the right size and shape and all that. So what I'm going to do is press 4, and we're going to build just a conveyor pole. And this is the first time we are doing this. Just intentionally building a conveyor pole in a spot, okay? So I pressed 4, I've got my conveyor pole, now I'm going to use my scroll wheel on my mouse to rotate it. Notice how it gives you the 45s and the 90s. I'm going to use the 90 because I want it to be straight. Also notice that there are 2 lines that don't meet up for some reason, whatever, that show you that this pole is in line with the belt next to it, or the belt downstream or upstream, whatever, right? So it's lined up. So I'm going to left click one time. So now that pole, just like the belt, because it is the pole, is locked in place, right? I can't place it somewhere else right now, but I can go up. And I left click one more time, and now I've got that. And so now I'm going to make a little belt bridge just like that. So now I can run under it. I can run under it just fine. That's what I want. This is exactly what I wanted, a way of running under the belt. Okay? Perfect. So now that I have a way of running under the belt, I'm going to make sure that I have all of these where this is a walkway. Like, this is a designated walkway. And once we have our awesome shop back, and we have our sink back, and we have enough tickets, we will be getting all the cool floor tiles and the decals and such to make sure that this is labeled as a walkway, because that's just cool. And this episode's getting a bit long, so what we will do is just take this. All of this is going to make the factory bigger. I'm okay with that. So now what we'll do is we'll just store up some iron here. And the point of that is our production floor is not even going to be this floor. Our production floor is going to be above this floor. So let's just get the rest of these lined up real quick. And I don't have enough iron plates. Because of course I don't. Alright, let's zoom forward a bit. Okay. We have requisitioned more plates to get this done. Fantastic. And one of these may end up being just too long. But we'll see. Yeah, this might end up being actually too long. Yep. Okay. So now that this one is too long, what we'll do is we'll just bring it up early. Just like that. Fantastic. Look at that. Cool. So that's how that's going to work. And these will all end up in their own containers. Nope. Just like this, just like this. And no plates. Okay, that's fine. Okay, well, you can see what I'm trying to do. So in the next episode, we're going to get our iron lines back up working, and we will get our copper line back up and working. You've been amazing. I've been Rensler. I thank you for being patient with me, but I just could not put out something that was below standard. And I reviewed the footage, I watched the entire episode, and I kind of got frustrated with the audio during the edit, and I said, you know, it's better to take the hit on the viewership and take the hit on the subscribers, and maybe people will get angry in the comments, and that's just going to happen. It's going to be something I have to accept, but I can't give you a subpar product. So that is why I decided to simply not release something. I just didn't want to give you low quality, you know? We will be back in the next episode. We will actually get stuff going, and it's going to be sweet. I thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time.